Off-grid living appeals to many people for different reasons. For some, it's about disconnecting from public utilities and becoming self-sufficient. For others, it's about embracing a simpler, more sustainable lifestyle that minimizes their impact on the environment. And for a few, it's a way to live more primitively without modern technology. No matter what your motivation, living off the grid requires a significant investment of time, effort, and money. Much more than I think most people realize if they're starting from scratch. Before you even begin planning, you need to thoroughly investigate any laws or ordinances that may affect your off-grid dream, as this could turn it into a nightmare. So today we're going to specifically detail the costs involved in off-grid living and what you need to start. We'll look at the initial expenses, the ongoing costs, and the various systems and structures you'll need to set up to live independently from the grid. Cost of off-grid living. The cost of going off-grid can vary widely depending on your location, the size of your property, and the complexity of your systems. Unless you plan to live a completely primitive lifestyle, going off-grid will probably cost more than you think. So here are some of the major expenses you can expect. Land. Land is the most basic requirement for off-grid living. If you want to live off the land by gardening and raising livestock, you'll need fertile, water-rich land. Finding suitable land can be challenging, and depending on the location, it might even be illegal to go off-grid on it due to local regulations. Cost of land. According to the USDA Land Value Survey, agricultural land prices in the U.S. averaged $3,160 per acre in 2020. Cropland was valued at $4,100 per acre, and pasture land averaged $1,400. Remote land that isn't already cultivated typically costs much less, often around $1,000 per acre, especially when buying larger parcels of 30 acres or more. And some additional land-related costs. Besides the actual cost of buying the land, you'll probably have to pay for a land survey, clearing the land, possibly pouring a foundation, soil tests, permits, and inspections. Shelter. The type of home you choose will significantly impact your costs as well. While some people imagine a rustic cabin in the woods, there are many options for off-grid homes, including RVs, shipping containers, tiny homes, and alternative building methods like straw bale or mud brick homes. But the government may have something to say about the type of home you live in, so be sure to check those local laws. Cost of building an off-grid home. Used RVs and shipping containers can cost $2,000 to $5,000. A-frame homes can be as inexpensive as $3,500. Log cabins, which are much more comfortable, can cost between $25,000 to $50,000 and up for DIY kits. More complex structures like straw bale homes can range from $10,000 if you build it yourself to $90,000 depending on those permitting requirements. Foundation costs. Pouring a foundation can be costly, especially in remote areas where hiring workers is expensive. Sometimes it makes sense to buy property with an existing building and renovate it, which can be cheaper than starting from scratch. Water. Supplying your own water can be one of the biggest challenges of off-grid living. The average American family uses over 300 gallons of water per day, which is a significant amount to provide yourself. Cost of drilling a well. Drilling a well can cost anywhere from $1,500 to $15,000 for 150 feet, depending on the terrain and the location. In some remote or difficult areas, the cost can be even higher. Rainwater harvesting costs. A simple rainwater harvesting system can be very affordable. You might even get free rainwater barrels from your local government. Installing a system that can be used for non-potable water indoors can cost between $1,000 to $3,000. Power. While living off-grid without power is possible, it is definitely not convenient. Most people prefer to have at least some power to run basic appliances, lights, and water pumps. Cost of off-grid solar. A small, under 1 kilowatt hour of off-grid solar system can be set up for around $4,000. For a more comfortable setup that can power computers, off-grid internet, and the AC and hot weather, expect to invest $20,000 to $30,000. If you do most of the installation yourself, you can reduce the cost to about $13,000. Alternative power sources. In addition to solar, you might consider wind or hydropower, depending on your location. Investing in propane appliances, passive solar water heaters, and other energy-efficient appliances can also reduce your power needs. Waste treatment system. Dealing with waste is one of the less glamorous but essential aspects of off-grid living. Most places require a septic system, even in areas with lenient off-grid living laws. Cost of septic systems. Installing one typically costs around $3,000, but can go up to $8,000 in some areas. Some places allow composting or incinerator toilets, which can reduce septic tank size requirements. Approved composting toilets start at about $1,700. I've seen a few for cheaper. Heat. Heating is crucial, especially in colder climates. There are several options, including wood stoves, active solar heating, electric heaters, propane heaters, and biomass heating. Cost of wood stoves. Basic wood stove costs between $1,000 to $3,000 with installation. More complex systems that can heat water can cost up to $7,000. Heating with wood requires 3 to 10 cords per season, costing $100 to $300 per cord. If you cut your own firewood, you'll need equipment like chainsaws and possibly an ATV or truck to haul it. Security and fencing. Security is about protecting yourself and your property from various threats, including harsh weather, natural disasters, wild animals, and pests. So, cost of security. Fencing can be one of the biggest expenses. Electric fences powered by solar panels can cost $3,000 to $4,000 to fence in a garden or an orchard. DIY solutions like hanging netting over a chicken run can solve some problems cheaply. Healthcare. Healthcare is a crucial aspect of off-grid living that is often overlooked. You'll still need health insurance and a plan for emergencies. Healthcare costs. Even if you're fit and healthy, you'll need a healthcare plan to cover unexpected injuries and illnesses. Living off the land increases the risks of accidents, and medical bills can quickly add up without good health insurance. Vehicle. Having a vehicle makes trips to town and hauling supplies much easier, but it comes with additional expenses. You'll need to pay for insurance, fuel, and maintenance supplies. Building a driveway of some sort and buying spare parts and repair tools can also add to the costs. And how about those outbuildings? Various outbuildings are necessary for storage, animal housing, and other purposes. This can include everything from tool sheds, wood sheds, greenhouses, barns, animal stalls, chicken coops, workshops, garages, smokehouses, bad weather shelters for the animals, dog houses, and even food storage areas. Cost of these outbuildings? Some buildings can be cheap DIY projects, while others require more investment, especially in harsh climates. Food. Producing your own food is a significant aspect of off-grid living. And while the idea of living entirely off the land is romantic, it's pretty challenging to achieve. Costs of growing food. The average home vegetable garden costs $238 and produces $677 worth of food, resulting in a net gain of $439. However, larger scale gardening requires a more considerable investment in fencing, pest control, equipment rentals, irrigation systems, food preservation supplies, animal feed, bedding, coops, medicine, vet visits, incubators, and more. Knowledge. An enormous amount of knowledge is required to live a self-reliant life. You'll need to become proficient in a lot of areas like electrical work, plumbing, medical care, pest control, engineering, sewing, welding, soil surveying, veterinary care, and more. The cost of learning. While a lot of knowledge can be gained for free, budgeting for books, courses, trips to visit off-grid properties, and apprenticeships is wise. Investing in education will pay off by reducing future costly mistakes. Supplies and tools. Living off-grid safely and comfortably requires a wide range of supplies and tools. Not all are essential, but investing in certain supplies can reduce dependency on other resources. Making a list of necessary supplies is wise. Your costs will be lower if you aren't raising animals or farming. Hand crank washing machines, solar ovens, and other off-grid appliances can also reduce your power needs. Some recurring costs of off-grid living. So once you're set up in your off-grid system, ongoing costs are associated with maintaining and operating it. These costs can often take people by surprise. Property taxes. Even off-grid, you have to pay property taxes based on the value and the location of your land. Septic tank maintenance. Septic tanks need regular pumping about every 1 to 3 years to avoid problems and maintain the proper function. Replacement parts for that equipment. Over time, equipment parts will wear out and need to be replaced, adding to your ongoing expenses. Declining solar equipment efficiency. Solar panels and especially batteries can lose efficiency over time, requiring repairs or replacements to maintain the power supply. Fuel for vehicles. Living remotely means usually longer travel distances and higher fuel costs for your vehicle, plus any additional gas-powered equipment you might have. Propane and wood for heating. Heating your home with propane or wood involves ongoing costs for fuel, especially in colder climates. Equipment and machinery rentals. Occasionally, you might need to rent specialized equipment or machinery for various tasks, adding to your ongoing expenses. Living off-grid can be super rewarding and fulfilling, but it comes with significant costs and challenges. You've got to be prepared to invest time, money, and effort into setting up and maintaining your off-grid systems. By understanding the initial and the ongoing expenses and the knowledge and skills required, you can be better prepared and plan for a successful off-grid life.